In this video, we'll look at how to divide fractions, and I'm using the examples that were on our number 2 quiz, and we'll get these solved here. The thing that you need to remember about division is it's like multiplication in that the fractions need to be improper fractions, and you do not need a common denominator. The basic rule is that if you take any division problem, for instance, 10 divided by 5, which we know equals 2, you can take any division problem and change it to a multiplication problem by multiplying the reciprocal of the second number. So 10 divided by 5 is the same thing as 10 times 1/5. When I simplify this, 1, 2, I find out that that also equals 2. So we use this basic rule in math and we apply it to fractions because it makes dividing with fractions easier. Let's look at the first one. The first thing we have to do is to change it to a multiplication problem. So 4 over 15, we're changing it to multiplication by doing the reciprocal of the second number. At this point, you might get tricked into thinking you can simplify this way, but you can't. You can only simplify this way and this way. I put an X there instead of a dot this time because sometimes it helps people to remember that's the direction that you can simplify when you're multiplying. I prefer the dot at this point in math. Most of your math books will use a dot instead of an X. So we can simplify because 3 goes into 12 and it also goes into 15. 3 goes into 12 4 times and 3 goes into 15 5 times. Now when we multiply straight across, we come up with a simplified answer. If you did not do the simplifying first, you would have to say 4 times 12 to get your numerator and 15 times 5 to get your denominator and then simplify. This makes things much easier. On number 8, we have a whole number, and we need to have that as an improper fraction. So we're going to multiply the first number by the reciprocal of the second number. Here again, 6 and 15 share a factor of 3. 3 goes in there twice, and 3 goes in there 5 times. 2 times 16 is 32. And 32 times 5 is 5. At this point, we have an improper fraction we need to turn into a mixed number. 5 goes into 32 6 times, and there are 2 left over, so that's 2/5 that's left over. And that's your answer for number 8. On number 11, 1/6 times 5 over 1. We can't simplify, and so we simply multiply straight across. 5 over 6. That one is very straightforward. Number 14. This is the one that is our integer rule fractions problem. So let's not forget about that. I'm going to write that down before I do anything. I need to change this to an improper fraction, so this is going to be negative 12/5. And I'm just going to still write it down as a division problem so we can take a look at it first. That's our division problem written as improper fractions. Now I'm going to change it to a multiplication problem. Don't forget about the negative. And you always just copy the first problem down, the first fraction down. You don't do the reciprocal of the first fraction ever. Times 10 over 3. Now we can see that we can simplify in both directions. That becomes 1, that becomes 2. 3 goes in there once, and 3 goes in there 4 times. When you multiply straight across, in our numerator we get an 8, in the denominator a 1. Now here again, it's very easy to forget that what we have is a negative answer. So I like a lot of times when I start a problem like this and I see the answer blank over here, this was item number 14. Before I ever start with any of this, most of the time I'll take that negative and I'll just go ahead and stick it there, and that way I won't forget. Now, negative 8 over 1 is negative 8. So our final answer on that one is negative 8. It's very easy to forget that negative when you're doing that rule.